a system called Lave. Have you heard about it? I met a hot chick, she asked me if I'd be her imperial slave. Cause I'm not claustrophobic. She took me down to a flight deck. I asked if she had more than one jet. Do you do multi-crew? I showed her my ship, she said it was a shit ship. What was I supposed to say? Now she's my ass ex. Go kiss my ass ex. I bought an app scout, oh just to take you out. You said I wasn't the explorer you were looking for. Looking for. I bought a keelback, thought I might win her back. She didn't answer my calls. Got me a Cobra, the mindful rover. She wouldn't get in the backseat, hold me closer. Tried me a drop ship, she said to eat shit. This girl is pushing me too far. So got an ass ex, no revive, but she read the text. Something drove me to me, the station thought I screamed so hard. Now she's my ass ex. Go kiss my ass ex. I bought an ass ex, I thought it guaranteed me sex. But now it's floating in pieces on the flight deck. Now she's my ass ex. Go kiss my ass ex. I bought an ass scout, oh just to take you out. You said I wasn't the explorer you were looking for. Yellow stars turn peacefully, solar flares arc over me, and everybody knows you scoop before you go home. Heat gauge rising gently, tanks refueled so quietly. Our John comes into view. Let's head to somewhere new. Who knows what the next system holds, what sights we'll see. Oh, let's be bold and fill our screens as we look for mystery. A pulse wave booming in the dark returns to us the hope of somewhere safe for me and you, somewhere we can escape to when credits ain't alcohol, a planet to call home. Let's keep chasing every dream, a ring so rich, oh so pristine, no one has to know. Our bookmarks won't be shown. One day we'll on this whole damn place. First footfall turns into a settlement or two, named after me and you. Our fleet will be security, no one will mess with us. Everybody has a dream, jump into the black becomes a scheme. When credits don't mean grind, you leave that far behind. Everybody has a dream, jump into the black becomes a scheme. And everybody knows, scoop before you go. We love you. System called Lave. Have you heard about it? I met a hot chick, she asked me if I'd be her imperial slave. Cause I'm not claustrophobic. She took me down to the flight deck. I asked if she had more than one jet. Do you do multi crew? I showed her my ship, she said it was a shit ship. What was I supposed to say? Now she's my ass ex. Go kiss my ass ex. I bought an app scout, oh just to take you out. You said I wasn't the explorer you were looking for. I bought a keelback, thought I might win her back. She didn't answer my calls. Got me a Cobra, the mindful rover. She wouldn't get in the backseat, hold me closer. Tried me a drop ship, she said to eat shit. This girl's pushing it too far. So got an ask X, no revive, but she read the text. Something drove into me, the space she thought I screamed so hard. Now she's my ass ex. Go kiss my ass ex. I bought an ass ex, I thought it guaranteed me sex, but now it's floating in pieces on the flight deck. Now she's my ass ex. Go kiss my ass ex. I bought an out scout, oh just to take you out. You said I wasn't the explorer you were looking for.
Hello and welcome to Lave Radio.
Greetings and welcome to Lave Radio.
Greetings, Commanders.
Greetings, Commanders.
The show that talks about the universe of Elite
And the development of the computer game Elite 4, known as Elite Dangerous.
and the fantastic community that surrounds it.
Broadcast from an orange Sidewinder and hosted by a vending machine technician.
A place of nonsense and innuendo for forum dads.
A self-contained podcast 2 hours long.
Transmitting to every corner of the galaxy.
It's even louder than me.
The hottest show this side of Dizzo.
The name of the place,
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Greetings, Commanders, and welcome to episode 522 of Lave Radio, the show that talks about the universe of Elite and the fantastic community that surrounds it. I'm your host, Commander Phoenix Defire, otherwise known as Colin Forge, Chief Archivist of Lave Station. And joining me in the orange signed bar for this episode, we have our Head of Health and Safety, Commander Ed Levice, otherwise known as Ben Moss Woodward.
Yeah, I'm taking risks today. We'll see how it goes.
We have our Staff Liaison Officer, Commander Psychit.
Wear protection.
Otherwise known as Claire.
And wash your hands.
And wash your hands afterwards, all of those things.
Also, we have our tech primate, that's the Chris Mark V, Little Biggin, who is joining us today. Commander Alec Turner he's got stuff to do, so yeah, we've had to let him off.
Yeah, Summit. Yeah, I like words.
Were you pretending to be Alec then?
No.
That's amazing. Good.
Fair enough. So if you wish, you can join us live. We're hanging out in-game, in open, at the bar at Lave Station. I can already see Ben and a few others. Yes, if you can't get to us at Lave Station, you can always join the Twitch chat channel, which you can access through laveradio.com/live, and click on the live chat, or go to twitch.tv/laveradio. So, right, let us quickly go round the crew, see what they've been up to this week. And this week, we will start with Little Biggin.
Yeah, I've barely played computer actually much this week, to be honest. Yeah, the weekend was just a bit much, so with lots to do. Went to see that Captain America movie. It was all right. It's a thing that happened.
It's a movie.
Yeah, it was all right.
Yeah.
Good.
He's accurate. It was a movie that we did go and see.
The guy who plays Isaiah Bradley is amazing. Don't know the actor's name, but he's incredible.
Yeah.
And is it the same guy who's in Falcon?
Yeah. It's the same actors.
Yeah, he was good in Falcon. I remember that.
Yeah, he's incredible in this. Anytime he's in this scene, he just seals it.
Okay, cool.
In the best possible way.
Yeah, I'm hoping to go see it this weekend, so fingers crossed.
Yeah, I heard bad things about it, but if it's passable, then I might actually go see it.
Don't go in expecting a Captain America movie.
Yeah. I've heard it described as a Falcon and Winter Soldier movie, essentially.
It isn't. It's a brilliant sequel to the 15-year-old movie The Incredible Hulk. It's a good sequel to that.
Right.
And, I guess, and you get to see Harrison Ford's red nipples.
I cannot remember. I cannot remember it. I'm not going to say much more about it than that. Don't expect a Captain America movie. Expect a Incredible Hulk sequel to a movie that is that's old in comparison, but everyone does a very good performance with the script that they are given, with the exception of one character. I'm not going to tell you who it is. I'll let you do your own thing.
Okay.
Oh,
Can you answer one question? Maybe. Do they have a decent bad guy? Because they failed so hard at bad guys of late.
I'd say yeah. I'd say they do.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So many of the bad guys in the past films have just felt extraneous almost to the story.
It's a weird movie.
Okay.
I left being a bit. Oh, it's a bit weird, isn't it?
Good bad guy, but then they kind of shoehorn in extra bad guys.
Yeah.
That just kind of get tossed aside.
Mm-hmm. I think you'll enjoy it, and I do think if you're into Marvel movies, go and watch Marvel movies.
Yeah.
Go and watch a Marvel movie. You know,
I've already got a book to go and see it at 11:00 on Saturday. So.
Yeah, it's a. If you've got nothing, if you're not doing anything else, and you fancy going and seeing a movie, go and see it. There's some brilliant, and there were some trailers in that movie for films that I didn't even know that were coming out, which we are both quite excited for.
Oh. Well, I'll be combining it with a trip to Lidl. So hey,
there we go.
Living the high life there, right?
I'm right. I am.
Okay then, Ben. What have you been up to then?
Yeah, I've had. Game-wise, the only game I've played is Red Dead 1. I've basically nearly finished that, so I'm happy with that. Life-wise, my gamepad's battery's dead, so I've replaced that with a FlyDigi Vader Pro, whatever the hell. And that seems very nice. It's very clicky and it's got Hall effect joysticks and things that apparently get a good results, so it's probably still means I'm going to suck playing FPSs, but apparently it's good. And I had the Windows 24.2 H2 Let's Fuck Up Your System For You update, which is why I'm trying new things, and we'll see what happens.
You've moved to Linux, haven't you?
Maybe.
Mm-hmm. Good luck.
Well, I'm getting 60 FPS. Well, I'm capped because my monitor's capping at 60, so we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see what happens. Yeah, I've never done this before.
And I'll never do it again. So, right. Claire.
Hey, well, I went to see the same film as Chris went to see, because we live together and he drives, so it felt like I needed to go and see it at the same time as him. So we saw
the house.
It wouldn't. Sorry.
Out of the house.
Out of the house. We did that. What else have I done? Loads and loads of Game Blast prep, like a metric butt ton of Game Blast prep, which has been a lot of fun. What else have I been up to? I did some of my weeklies today, which was nice. I also had a really lovely chat with Paige from Special Effect, talking about some of the stuff that Special Effect does today, which was really, really nice. What else have I been up to? So I have been having for a very long time issues with OBS, wherein at some point during an Elite, specifically an Elite Dangerous stream, my OBS crashes. And I don't need people to help me troubleshoot, like, first and foremost, because if you can name it, I've done it. So my thoughts were originally that it is an entirely down to my graphics card, and I think my graphics card is on the fritz, and it's relatively old, so I think I would love another graphics card to sort of like future-proof my PC and play Avowed at like high amounts so I can dream about kissing fishmen. But on Saturday morning when I sat down to do like a shit ton of like Game Blast prep and Game Blast stuff, my monitor just started being on for 5 seconds, off for 1, on for 5 seconds, off for 1. This is my main monitor. Yes, I have 3 monitors. Yes, I use them all because it's important, but my main monitor was off and on. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe it's the monitor that's the fault. And I think it's kind of like a double thing. We had to rush out and get a new monitor to replace it because my main monitor, I definitely can't be without. And it was definitely a problem with the monitor. That monitor is 10 years old and it's been on probably, at a rough estimate, 15 hours a day since I've had it. So it's had a good life. It's had a really good life. But I think it probably started going months ago. And could it be that the monitor, because something's been wrong with the monitor, could that have had an effect with my graphic GPU with trying to compensate for it or something along those lines? So I'm beginning to think that patient 0 is probably the monitor as opposed to the GPU. But OBS crashed again today while I was playing Elite. So there's still a problem there. It's not software. I've reinstalled drivers millions of times. I've done full fresh reinstalls. I've reinstalled Windows. I've done all of the things that you... I'm just checking off like the very obvious ones. So I think I have to look at getting a new GPU, which sucks because there's so much fucking money. But that is a sitch at the moment. Freelance in chat is suggesting that I should have thought about turning it off and on again, which, I didn't work in software support for 3 years. I should have thought about that before I did that. But yeah, I think half of my problems are sorted, but I haven't sacrificed any goats yet. That might be another thing that I might have to try and do. I'm in a bit of a frustrated mood with it. So I was behind with everything starting yesterday. So I've been like constantly in catch-up mode. So I haven't stopped. and I'm tired. So so fingers crossed we'll have I'll might be able to get a GPU in the not too distant future. Who knows?
Who knows? Maybe one of those 50s, eh?
Mate, I don't know. I don't want to burn any part of my house. So I'm thinking probably like a late 40 series, but after I have a good look and measure exactly what will fit in my case.
Yeah. I know. I found that a bit of a shock when I put my 4070 in. It just fitted in, and I was fundamentally going,
Yeah, I think because I've got a 3060 Ti, and that's quite. Oh, the phrase I'm going to go with is girthy, but that's quite. It's quite substantial, so it should. I think the dimension-wise, I think there is possibly just enough space to get a trip fan in, but I'm going to measure it like a hawk before I do anything because I don't want to get burnt when we're talking about that sort of like amounts of money. So
yeah. You also don't want to get burnt putting the cables in.
100%, absolutely, yes. I don't want to leave. The thing that I can see happening. I consider everything, and then I don't consider space for where my cable management is going to go, or where my cable's going to go in the space between my CPU and my GPU, and whether or not it's going to cuck off my cable. And that's not what we need. I need to have like power.
Do you know? Oh, I don't know, but I mean, what about? I know some graphics cards are coming with L-shaped cables to basically, they've got a deliberate L in them.
Yeah, I think it's probably more the. I don't know. I've got a modular PSU, so maybe it would work, but I just think I've got. You know that thing where you've planned it all out in your head, but the only thing that you need is the money.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I planned out like four incredible computers, but the only thing you need is the money. So I think I'm going to do. I think we'll just see what happens and see if I can afford it in the not too distant future, and then write it off as a tax expense. But yeah, that's like all I've been doing is just stressing because I'm doing
Game Blast.
Because of the Game Blast stuff and like everything just felt like it set back. But then last night I sat and I worked through doing a like the opening titles for Jeopardy is really good, like the normal opening titles for the Jeopardy show. So we've tried to recreate it with the space theme, and I'm really proud of it. So even like I'll talk more about it later anyway. Talk more about Game Blast in a minute. You'll be bored of me talking about Game Blast by the time the show is over.
Right. Excellent. Well, let's see. Actually, real life has been okay, apart from at the last moment of the weekend. Sort of. Oh, by the way, I want to paint our daughter's room. I was going to tell you last night, but I fell asleep. So Saturday's streaming was straight away. Forget that. Did manage to do a bit of streaming on Sunday. Managed to completely do all my weeklies because I got very lucky. I got all space ones.
Yeah, I've had another 10 all space ones this week, I think, but I didn't get them all on.
Yeah, well, I went through them in a couple of hours and I was quite chuffed with myself, and then had to defend one of our systems from Tolville, trying to sneakily encroach into undermining one of our fortified systems, so I had to stop her. Managed to get another 65 systems in towards Colonia, which is good on my exploration commander, so that's another 1,000 planets at least done. So it sure as hell builds up after a while. The thing is, my main commander, I don't know what to do with him. I've decided that he's going to start Breaking Bad because apparently for one of the on foot engineers, you've got to become unfriendly with the Sirius Corporation. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I'm going to have to be naughty. I'm not sure whether I can be naughty. And apart from that, I finished my Final Fantasy VII playthrough. That should be all up on YouTube. Now it's Rebirth's time, and I have fallen for these characters in a big way because we just done the beach scene, and I have been in absolute stitches with it because. Yeah. Seeing certain people in a sailor outfit, you just didn't want to. You didn't want to. It's hilarious. Yes. So that's me. So I mean, normally we would talk about development news, but as Frontier aren't talking about development news, neither are we. So I'm going to hand over to Psychit because there's a whole lot of community stuff that have happened.
And now, to the community coroner.
It's a dead game, innit, mate? 100%. It's a dead game, innit, mate? Totally.
So
dead. There's an out going on. While we wait for a week tomorrow, as of time of recording, when the stuff happens and we find out more about colonization. What has the community been up to? Well, first and foremost, Commander Takoso has teamed up with the High Wake again for a little song about the Loop of Shame. This one went on Tom's channel, I think. The first one was on the High Wake's channel, and the second one was on Tom's channel, and this is about the Loop of Shame. It's brilliant, because it is. It's so good. It's really good. Go and see it. All of these, as always, links will be in the description, show notes, whatever you want to call them. Secondly, Immersed Robot has shown off how Elite Dangerous handles VR using a new RTX 5080 graphics card. This is literally the only thing in this whole list that I haven't seen. Is this one of yours, Colin?
It is, yes. Basically, I wanted to see what how well it performed compared to the setup I've got, and I'm jealous. Honestly, it just. I was there thinking, oh, it won't be as good. My VR experience is butterly smooth, amazing, and really high res. I feel so immersed. But when he showed off what his does with the Quest and the numbers he was getting on it, I was there going,
Okay.
There were green eyes. Honestly, I was Well done, Mr. Immerse Robot.
Then we have Commander Exorcist, his latest episode of Out There. If you didn't know, Exorcist does a very, very, very beautiful series where it's very, really, really pretty not screenshots, but like video snippets all linked together to music. This is the latest one of those. It's very good. Go and check it out. He's got hundreds, I dare say, out there, which are great. We have we're talking about just about, actually. It's called Just Now. There is a new bounty in Just that is Formula 1000. Find a new race course and fly them through it for $50 whole.
To which the owner of Just About has said, Alec Turner, hint, hint.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
not that he's getting a reputation for this, no.
Well, I mean, you know what? It's driving that engagement. That's all I'm going to say about this. Nixon. There was a YouTuber who had a love-hate relationship with Elite Dangerous. Recently got back into it and was pleasantly surprised. There is a YouTube video to that. Has anybody else watched this?
Oh yeah, I've watched that one because I've seen his other ones where he's been very, very dismissive of Elite Dangerous because he's a space sim guy and I don't think he's been that impressed since Odyssey dropped because of obvious reasons, and then in the last 6 months since the drop of Ascension, he's been very impressed by the way things have turned around. He's one of these guys who's come back to it and went, it's got good, they've fixed it. Yay.
No shit. Those of us who stayed have been like, yeah, we know, mate. We absolutely know. There is, in that case, we have Slamscape X has done an Elite Dangerous exploration montage. Again, lots of beautiful vistas filmed and put together, called Wonder. It's very good. It's very good video. The music's great as well. Then little known commanders by the name of the Burr Pit have released a video which is ridiculous. It's 54 commanders flying about in one instance. It's ridiculous and it's wonderful. About as ridiculous as it is wonderful, which is a very cool combination of things to witness. Moving on to the Elite Racers. They've had their second event in the Titan Cup, called I hate this so much. Li Gong in 120 seconds. I hate it so much. I'm really mad at whoever came up with that. Apaphis, who is doing our tech tonight, actually took part in the Titan Cup. How was it, mate?
It was fun. There's, I think there's over 10 commanders all there. And of course, with the Elite Racers, everything's done live, so you all race at the same time. And the start of the race, everybody's lined up at the back of the station. So you've got over 10 ships trying to get out of the mail slot to then go out and go round. And there were a few explosions. It's absolute carnage at the start.
I imagine going through the mail slot is an actual disaster and stuff like that. I did lurk for a little bit on your stream and watched you doing it, and I was like, "This is not for me."
Yeah, the Stock Eagle's a bit slow, but once you got used to it, it wasn't too bad. And it was a case of leaving the station, going out, flipping round, going under the little orangey bit, and then looping the habitation module, going around the back, looping the hard module under the orange bits, back in the station, turn around and go out, and that was 1 lap, and there was 3 laps. So lots of
3 laps.
Yeah, lots of chances to collide in the mail slot.
Amazing.
Oh, scary.
Wild. So we have our results. Hey, I'm only going to do the top 3, and those of you who can see the results understand why. I'm going to do the top 3. So in third place was Sulu. This is the Regulation Eagle. In third place was Sulu. In second place was Tobias von Brandt, and then in first place was Shay Blackwood. Way well done to those.
I hate to point out that Alec Turner and Sulu drew.
Shut up.
They did. They drew. They've got a bronze medal each.
I reckon if you took it down even further, then they wouldn't. Yeah. Okay. Alec was in third as well.
Yeah, I know. Sorry.
And then the top 3 in the unlimited category, we have in third place, exclusively in third place, with no one else in fourth. No one who bothers to show up to record shows on a Tuesday night in fourth. We have Axar in a Viper, and then in second, MK Max in a Viper, and then in first place, Shay Blackwood, the unstoppable Shay Blackwood in an Eagle. The unlimited ones, it's like all engineering good. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah, completely engineered to the 9s in round 2. So it's
yeah.
We got.
I enjoy the fact that there's not any. I think the reason nobody tried to Cobra 5 is that it's not viable in game for credits yet. As soon as it's available in game for credits, then you'll be able to get it. You can't pay to win. There we go. It's interesting. Epaphras, am I reading this right in that there's only 5 times on the unlimited list? Is that because everyone else is a DNF?
So there's quite a few DNFs, but I think the way they ended up doing the scoring at the end was taking I think there was 5 heats, so you got 5 goes to do it, and they were taking the average of the best 3 times. But some people only managed 2 or 3. 2 or 1. So obviously they didn't have the 3, which is why there's a bit more of a gap than normal.
Right. Okay. Wow.
Okay. Wow. You only
That's a lot of people that didn't finish.
You have 5 lives. Oh dear.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
There was a bit of a discussion on, because originally they were doing the average best of 3 and then didn't realise that people might only get 1 run where they don't blow up. So they were having a discussion in the background about how best to do the scoring. And this is what they came up with.
Okay. Cool, interesting. Oh, that's fascinating. Well, there'll be another event coming up pretty soon, I would have thought, probably in the next few weeks. Is that about right?
Yeah, I think it's about once a month at the moment.
Okay, brilliant.
There'd be a lot of wreckage around Ligong, wouldn't there?
They clean it up. They've got one of those Ares mines. Ares, what are they called? Hang on, let's work this out. Ares Coriolis cleanup crew. I'm not doing the advertisement for that one. That is a tongue twister.
I think it needs to be done now.
Cleanup crew is happening. We'll get something written. Do. Anyway, moving on. Hey, guess what? I might have mentioned it before, but it's Game Blast this weekend. If you don't know what Game Blast is, Game Blast is a focused weekend for Special Effect, where the charity that gives accessibility to anyone who is struggling to play a video game, be they in hospital for whatever reason, and it's not just video games, just struggling with their accessibility. They provide the means by which to function when they need it the most. And if some of that is to do with being accessible for a gamer, then that's what it is. They're an amazing charity. They won a BAFTA last year. Cash Basta, you know the drill. So this weekend is a big charity drive for Game Blast. Let me talk about things that we are doing or have done. There was today I had a lovely chat with Paige talking about special effect and what they do, and talking about some of the lesser known things that special effect do. I learned a lot during the conversation. There is a highlight on my YouTube channel, which is linked in the show. Oh, not my YouTube channel, on my Twitch, that is linked in the show notes. But there will be a YouTube video going out tomorrow for that. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really, really good chat. Then what else are we doing? So Colin is streaming. Streaming this weekend. We're raising money for Game Blast for special effect. I'm going to be streaming all weekend, raising money for Game Blast and special effect. Apathis is going to be streaming this weekend, raising money for Game Blast and special effect. Katiana is going to be streaming this weekend, raising money for Game Blast and special effect. On Friday night at 8:30, and I cannot stress this enough, we are here on same Twitch channel, same probably YouTube channel as well. We are playing a game show. Yay! Another one. There's something that we found out that we do really well in the supplementals. It's just like make game shows up. So this Friday, or like make other game shows, because we did Would I Lie to You at ECM, and that went down really well, and we had a really good time doing it. So this Friday we're playing Jeopardy. There are 6 contestants. We have some special guests. We have a special guest host as well, who has been working tirelessly to get it done. We have a special opening title sequence, which I'm so fucking proud of. But your contestants on this Friday on Jeopardy, raising money for Game Blast and special effect, are Psychit, Apathis, the Chris Mark 4, the Chris Mark 5, Commander Burr, and Commander Rini. We are going to be bad at this game. For anyone who is curious, we're going to be very bad at it, because our Quizmaster is the exceptional Katiana, who has written a series of, she's written us 2 rounds, so 2 rounds, 6 categories in each round, 4 questions in each round. It's going to be I'm so excited about it. It's going to be such a laugh. It's going to be a nightmare. We've got like a whole buzzer system. We've got everything up and running, and I cannot wait to do it but it will obviously hang around on our YouTube channel as well, and it's all for a great cause. There is also links in the show note to the weekend space shenanigans and the team, so it's not too late to get involved. If you would like to get involved with Game Blast, there are links in the description to that as well. And we have also, Katie's also in there, so because writing enough questions for Jeopardy wasn't enough, Katie's also done a quiz that you can enter. If you that I will put a link in the description for. If you enter the quiz, you will be, and you complete the quiz, you'll be entered into a raffle to win a special effect paint pack for Elite, which I believe is a Sidewinder skin, another skin, which my memory is failing me right now. Let me open my DMs. It's another skin and a decal, but you can be in the running for that. Also, all of the streamers that I mentioned will have giveaways that I have procured for them for that same thing. So if you want to go and check those out as well, I don't think it's the Crate Mark 2. I am double checking what it is right now, but please support any number of those streamers. Well, Nikki Dangerous as well. Lots of streamers that are doing cool things. I'm just opening my DMs because they're so freaking slow. Yeah, it is. It's Crate Mark 2, Sidewinder, Crate Mark 2, and the decal, and that's in the bundle. And we've got quite a few of those to give away as part of the thing. And we also have things to give away as milestones, where every week certain milestones for the game. Frontier have been incredibly generous and lovely with that. Okay,
we need to know, are there any other skins?
No, that's Game Blast. Tick. I've ticked that one off right now. Don't worry, I'll still talk about it again later. ECM tickets are live. Yeah. I've double and triple checked that I can mention this. Hey, ECM tickets are live. ECM tickets are right now live. Let me tell you about it. It is on the 16th of August, 2025, at the Village Hotel, Coventry. That is a bigger space, a better bar, cheaper hotel rooms, and cheaper beer.
Well, let's be honest.
Important.
It'd be better than the last one.
I mean, it almost certainly is going to be, because not only is it a cheaper bar, it's a private bar. The beer is cheaper, and not only if it is a cheaper bar or a private bar, it is open until 1 a.m. That means that the Chris Mark 4 and I are going to be able to have a drink. Which only happened last time because we went and stacked them out and put them on chairs with other people, and went, look after those for us. We'll be back. They also have a so net will be poorer 100%. So slight downsides. The event cost has gone up by $5. So the amount to actually pay if you want to go to the event is gone up by a $5. The room costs and the beer costs are about 30% less than they were. So it works out that it's so much cheaper, and it's really, really good. There's a gym, a pool, because they've got many side rooms for activities. There is an outdoor area, electric car charging ports. It's so easily accessible from the motorways, also via train or plane. David asked me to say ECM are sending everyone to Coventry, which I did the inverted commas, but yeah, ECM, your tickets are live now. You can go and buy some. Coventry is good for like most people as well, I think, like as far as like location wise, it's a really good central location. I've been lucky enough to be privy to seeing what the what the place looks like already, and I'm excited. I'm excited about going and spending time there as well. I think it's going to be really, really, really fun. Last year was a blast, but I think it was more to do with the people rather than the venue. I think this year it's going to be an amazing combination of the people going and the venue. So yeah, folks. ECM tickets are live. Get them while you can. EliteCommunityMeet.info. ECM. Hey!
Yeah. I'm having to completely redo the Elite Miniatures games for it. So it's new materials, new rules, new everything. It's going to be a brand new thing. So, well, it's going to be similar, but improved. That's the idea anyway. So, yes, if you have a community event taking place soon and would like to shout about it across the airwaves, tweet the crew at Lave Radio or email us at info@laveradio.com, or Alec will hunt you down. So, yeah, there we go. In-game events. Well, what's been happening this week? Well, finally, the CG's ended.
Has it? I thought it was the CG has actually ended, or the lockdown ended.
No, the lockdown ended, and people had about 6 hours to get and put their exploration vouchers in, and it's now ended. So I hate to say it, I've now been shoved out of the top 25%. I'm now done the top 50.
Oh no!
I know. I lost 65 million because of that. Damn. But yeah, it has ended. The lockdown ended. The CG's ended. Everybody is happy, and apart from me.
Apart from you.
Yes. So yeah, there we go. Hope you enjoy your extra credits.
Oh, you salty? Are you actually that salty about it?
It's the first time I'd ever gone to the top 25% of any CG, and I was going, oh. But no, I'm not that salty much. Anyway, right. I guess it's time for the Powerplay standings. In 12, we have Torval, who's managed to gain 2 extra systems over the last week. In 11, we have Winters, who's actually gained quite a few systems this week. In 10th, we have the Pirate King Delaney, who's managed to raise up to 607 systems. And at number 9, we have Kane, who has raised to 630. She is catching Petraeus in 8th, who is now up to 651. And Antal is beginning to pull ahead for Petraeus at 697. Archer pulls ahead even further with 724, with Lee Young-Ru pulling further ahead of him with 785. Grom has not done as well as usual by only going up to 1016. However, the person that's gained the most systems this week has been Emperor Rissa, who's now up to 1323. However, for both Mahon and Ashling, they've only gained 1 system each. So Ashling's at 1409 and Mahan is at 1426. It seems like the guys at the top have just petered out.
I wonder why that is.
But that is your Powerplay standings this week.
I fucking love that so much.
I'm trying my best.
It's my favourite. I love it so much. I do wonder why that is, though. That
Yeah, I was quite surprised when I went through the figures this week because I was expecting Ashling to really catch up with Mahan this week. And when I went through, I was there going, she's only gained 1 system. And then so's Mahan. And ironically, it kind of goes, Arissa has gained the most, followed by Winters and Torval. So, 3rd, 11th, and 12th have gained the most systems this week, which has been weird.
I was going to say it's not going to be because the sphere of influence is pretty big, so that's not going to be it. I wonder if there's like a fortification push in those camps or something. I don't know how anything works, but I do wonder if like
it has. Yeah, you can actually see that they actually haven't gained any number of systems, but the number of strongholds and fortifieds have gone up quite a bit.
Right. Okay. So yeah, then I was right. I'm so excited. I don't know how it works, but I'm right about making assumptions. Amazing.
Yeah. But the thing is, Arissa's managed to get more strongholds and more fortified and managed to expand her number of exploited systems over all 3 of them. So, yeah, they seems to be doing a good job with the Emperor. Not that I'm biased in any way. But the real surprise was Winters and Torval, because I didn't think many players were actually flying for them. But they seem to have picked up in the last couple of last week. They've got no chance of catching Delaney in absolute years, but
yeah.
We haven't
That's
had
really interesting.
Yeah, we haven't had any movement amongst the players though. I have seen a lot of conflicts between systems happen, but they don't seem to affect the big numbers.
Yeah. So the thing that got me was the fact that we were kind of expecting the way that Frontier spoke about it was all of the bubbles were gonna change dynamically all the time, and it was and all we've done is they've sort of gone bleh and spread out a bit. They've done an ooze out, and now there's not really been like a lot of like changing hands.
No, there has the one person that has changed hands quite a lot has been Archer, who's gone up 2 places. He's overtaken Patreus and Tal, because Archer and Kane started off at about the same level.
Is Archer sort of like on the outside though?
No, because he's the federal shadow president, so he's not on the outside. He's dead center.
I suppose.
So he took over. What's his face from the previous president, whatever it is.
Yeah.
The guy that looked like the T-1000. Yeah, and we got Profane Pagan going, what? As a Winters supporter, I beg to differ. Didn't I just say that Winters was one of the 3 powers to gain the most systems this week?
Yeah, all right. We can see you working hard.
We can see you.
We can see it. As someone who literally just does like the bare minimum just to get things leveled out, I'm fine.
Yeah, because there are 2 kinds of players. There are the players who are just there for the merits, and there are the players that who are playing for the faction, and it's fun. I do like the way that.
Are you still enjoying it, Colin? Are you still enjoying doing Powerplay like you were at the beginning?
Well, yes, I'm still enjoying it a lot. Well, it's so much better than the previous iteration, because it has all the good stuff from the old iteration, and obviously the far more playing options than there was before. I still am a little bit annoyed that it was dialed back. But then again, I do understand that if you did have the full-on power play that I wanted, you would have to have that pause pledge option.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, you couldn't do it otherwise. Yeah. And I suppose this is one thing about that. We've had 3 months now where it's been exactly static. And I was hoping at some point we'd get more. They'd be tweaking the power play background simulation all the way through, but they haven't. I'm hoping that something else is coming with the colonization update, but we'll just have to wait and see. So yeah,
I mean more systems, so more oozing.
Yeah, but I was on about more mechanics for. Because they've cut out a lot of stuff. I know they've been trying to balance the simulation so that when you do an acquisition, certain activities will do the same amount for acquisition and for reinforcing and all that kind of thing. But I feel it needs a little bit more balancing.
Maybe they'll reactivate rescue pods again. Like Kane's thing.
Exactly. Because there's kind of things that for Kane, that's one of the exact things that they cancelled, which was But like I said, 90% of it I'm really happy with, as opposed to say 40 or 50% that I was really happy with the original Powerplay. So that's a 40% improvement.
There we go. Yeah, amazing.
40% better than the last version of Powerplay. Approved. Right.
Was that Sex Panther? 56% of the time it works every time, something like that.
6% of the time it works 100% of the time.
Yeah, it's like Powerplay is the Sex Panther of Elite.
That sounds like Terry Pratchett's.
It's Anchorman.
To one chances happen 7 times out of 10.
Oh, I have found a show title.
Oh, we haven't even got to the end of the notes yet. Anyway, it's that time of the week again.
Score alert!
In the bi-weekly newsletter, here come paint jobs for your arts. In the bi-weekly newsletter, here come paint jobs.
Right. Well, this is exactly the same as last week, but it is that important we thought we'd mention it again. The Valentine's freebies are still there, so the Manticore weapon skins you can claim for free from the store, and that also includes the Valentine Days cosmetics sale, which is happening, and it's all going to end this Thursday. So you've only got a couple of...
Valentine's Day's over now.
Yeah, yes, thankfully.
Wow.
I know. February the 20th. And I'd just like to say to, Commander A.K. Arthur, please, I'm too tired to talk statistics.
That was too much math for me. I just decided to ignore it.
Yes, you're right. It is 80% of the whole of the 50%. But to be honest, I was on about the 100% as the whole. So, and that's enough because as soon as you mention anything about holes, you'll have Ben talking about something weird. So
that's fine. I've been penetrating red bacon.
Oh, there you go.
Incredible.
Say, Commander A.K. Arthur, I blame you for that. Go stand in the corner of shame.
It was a dark hole for what it's worth.
No.
Amazing, incredible, good to know, great.
Yes, wonderful. Right, okay, let's go for an ad break and come back with some major discussion stuff.
I spend so much time in my Imperial Trader. I find it really hard to meet people.
I mean, when do you get the time to go to bars when you're taking on courier jobs for the military?
But with VenusDating.com, it was so simple. I just put in my personal details and they found me my perfect match.
I really thought it would be difficult, but Venus Dating made it so simple, with so much in common.
We both like movies, walking along the beach at sunset,
browsing Imperial shipyards.
And of course, since we started dating, we've discovered that we both really love shooting Thargoids. Let your voyage begin with VenusDating.com for every first encounter.
Before I also went off and died.
Tasty, tasty cannibalism.
I'll be the least likely to die. He died first.
Yeah, I've never before discovered plants.
We here at the Lavian Centre of Dubious Science have had enough of those idiotic numbskulls polluting your airwaves with nonsensical utterations, mindless articulations, and downright vacuousness. Our premier linguistic experts, psychologists and scientists have collaborated for years to find the perfect antidote for such silliness and are proud to present Professor Pebcap's Miracle Elixir. Our closely guarded recipe is designed to target the sensibility triggers nestled within the frontal lobe of the cerebrum and gently caress the cerebellum, meaning that clumsiness, terrible decision-making, lewd comments, and rare but fun rants are a thing of the past. Place one drop under the tongue when you wake up and one just before sleep, and settle into an elevated state of practicality that's more suited to the responsible commander. Professor Pebcap's Miracle Elixir. We've not tested it yet, but we're sure it'll do the job just fine.
Space is vast, and pirates have needs just like anyone else. Introducing the Lonely Pirate Handbook, the ultimate resource for lonely pirates. Our guide covers the hot spots and not spots of interstellar space, from smugglers' dens to space station taverns, with helpful chapters such as how to be presentable in polite society, how to get rid of that nefarious rank, and my favorite, occasionally shower. Are your early advances often mistaken for attempts to rob or plunder?
Oh, I've come a long way for what's in your hold. Prepare to be boarded.
Frameshift charge detected.
Oh.
Buy today and receive the Lonely Pirates Chat-Up Guide for free.
I've got a very large hard point. Would you like to see my very large hard point?
You're so hot. You're making my temperature critical.
Lower your shields. I want to inspect the goods.
Come back to my place. I might let you touch my
A-rated anaconda.
Are you smuggling illegal goods? Because you've got fine written all over you.
The Lonely Pirate's Handbook. Now available in all Anarchy bookstores. We'll teach you to loot anyone's heart.
And welcome back. Well, touching on the what happened with the CG, we had an interesting suggestion from Commander Beetlejude. The main question that she had was that if Frontier move to player-driven narratives, such as what's been happening with the CG and other things as well, what level of control should be exerted over the events? With reference to news created by players, CG management.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, what level of hand-wavium should there be? So, I mean, this comes down to what we want the game to be like, because at the moment, we all agree it's pretty much a sandbox.
Yeah.
And I don't know, do I need to explain what the different kind of MMO types are that like this? Or
I don't know necessarily that you do.
no. Okay then. So apart from the fact we've got 3 levels, we've got sandbox, you've got theme park, and you have on rails. As far as I'm concerned, and prime examples: sandbox is Elite and Eve. Theme park, that's normally stuff like EverQuest and things like that one, and then you have World of Warcraft and SOTOR, which is basically on rails. So yeah, you want to get to the next bit of the plot, then you've got to follow some missions in order to get there. So that's why it's on rails. So where do we want Elite Dangerous to be as far as this is concerned? Because I really love the sandbox stuff.
I saw you say, and I think I wasn't present, or I was doing something else when we were discussing this topic, and I saw you say something about the fact that you didn't feel like the Thargoid War was on rails, and I fundamentally disagree with you on that.
I said it was on rails.
Oh, somebody said it wasn't. And my apologies. I thought
that would be the person sat next to you, the Chris Mark V.
He's downstairs, my guy.
he's still within hitting range.
No, I don't have Mr. Fantastic's arms.
when he comes upstairs to give you a drink, he's in hitting range.
It definitely was on rails. Chris, what are you on about?
Because if it was on rails, you had to take part. You didn't have to take part. Yep.
No, I don't. That's a different.
No.
I'm going to disagree there, because I did some of it, but I didn't do all of it.
Yeah, but if nobody had done any of it.
Yeah, this is the thing that I was confused about, because after discussing things with Darren, I was under the impression that each of the Titans had a certain radius, which was about as far as they could go out to. However, I have been since corrected that each Titan got weaker as the further they went out, but when they got to the limit, that didn't stop them. They just got to the lowest limit and then kept on going. So if we had just... What?
Was that not added, that they got weaker at the further it went out? It didn't. I don't think it started like that.
No, it didn't start like that to begin with, because that's one of the things that they put in.
Mm-hmm.
Right at the very beginning, they started to expand very, very quickly. But what they said was that the amount of effort that the players would take to overturn a system, or turn a system back to humanity, was a lot easier further away from a Titan than it is right next to a Titan. But there is that little level that if nobody had fought the Thargoids would still keep on expanding. They just would have been that easier to turn around at a later point. But if no one had bothered fighting them, they still could have potentially wiped out the bubble.
Yeah.
It depends how easy they were to push back, because it could have been to the point that it would have been...
Like one person working real hard.
Well, a bunch of people, but it would have had a natural balance
with
it. That there would just be a a new order in the galaxy. And, that sort of stuff. So maybe an equilibrium would have been achieved where they couldn't push any further because they could be so easily pushed back.
Yeah.
Which I think would actually be more fun than them all blown up.
What, you mean the Titans would be a permanent fixture and, that we'd have a permanent war?
Well, or an uneasy, almost war that hadn't really gone hot yet.
I wonder if there would never have been plans for it. I think the Elite Dangerous community are far too predictable for that.
Oh, I definitely. I think personally, we know they had a plan. FDev had certainly had a plan to
FDev are Cylons.
Well, actually, if you read the show notes from Ron Moore about the Cylons, the Cylons never had a plan. It was one of the things they put that at the beginning of every Battlestar Galactica, and the Cylons have a plan, and the writers didn't have a plan. They just went, it sounds good, yeah, and then they had this TV show at the end called The Plan, and everybody went, this is a pile of poo.
So, to get maybe slightly back on track.
You distracted me with plans. Stop it.
To get slightly back on track, I know I am the one who was the person who started that divert, but I fully hold my hands up. But I am very much with you then, Colin, in saying that we've been on railroads for 2 years now, and I very much like the idea that we are now back. We're now in a position where the stuff that Frontier are picking up on are player things, and a bunch of players put the system into lockdown. I saw somebody say I think it was in my Discord. Somebody said, do we think that Frontier hand waved the lockdown being lifted? And I can't see, looking at the very minimal data that is available on Inara, I don't think that that's the case. I think that people actually did genuinely work to do it. And one of the factions there got hit pretty hard because of that. And I think that's kind of the case for a lot of, whenever a CG goes in, you see like the spike for that player for the faction who is in control of the system, if there's like a delivery thing or something, because anything that we do in game has a direct effect on the BGS. There's a reason that there's quite a few systems that that the faction that my squadron supports are suddenly they go into expansion. It's because people Aisling Duval supporters are working in those systems and doing stuff in the systems. So we watch our influence go up where we don't want it to go up, because people are doing Powerplay. So everything being connected and those kind of things. I love this era of player driven, full sandboxy type thing, and I'd really hate to see another thing like the Thargoid War for a good year or so, at least a good year, is my personal opinion.
I completely agree, because don't get me wrong, I really enjoyed the Thargoid War apart from the Glaive. The Glaive, and you couldn't find an Orthrus anywhere. Those were the two faults I had with the Thargoid War, which I've probably said before, and I will carry on saying again. But it was planned out, and once we hit the certain markers, you then now we're in the middle of the Empire Strikes Back moment where everything is going really wrong and we're all going to die, and then you just knew that the breakthrough was coming, because you knew
they
you just had to.
drip fed us the stuff that we needed, and they drip fed us those. We had the big final climactic battle at Seoul as well. So everything was really, really well structured. Do I think that they had a full grip on the balls of it? No, because nobody in their right mind would have had the final Titan explode at 6 o'clock in the fucking morning. But for a roundabout sort of idea, then yeah, absolutely. I think they had stuff ready to go at the times that it needed to be ready to go, and I think with colonization and with everything that they're doing now, I think we'll be surprised with a. I think we'll be surprised next Wednesday that there will be other interesting things that they're coming out with. They might mention something else that sits hand in hand with the sandboxy nature of the game, rather than I don't know.
Well, I think
BGS overhaul that'll do.
Another BGS overhaul. My goodness, an overhaul to the crime punishment would be nice. Yeah, because that's. I think that is the one major thing, apart from on foot VR, which I really want them to have a look at. But yeah, I think what everybody is. I think one of the things that I'm getting up from the player base is that, yes, the Thargoid War was nice, but we'd like some mechanics that can make us play. This is going to sound so wrong. Can we play with ourselves, please? So, I think that's the way to go with this from going forward. I mean, at that point, then Frontier can monitor the situation, what's happening in the galaxy. And if there's some interesting things that the community gets up to, then that's when they can put in the Galnet news, like they did with the Anti-Xeno initiative going after HIP 22, well, that system.
Mm-hmm.
And they put it in Galnet news. So, obviously, if like Distance World 3 is coming up, that'd be a great thing to put into the Galnet news and monitor. But Frontier can take their as long as they create the new mechanics for everybody to play with, then I don't think we need another big on rails war or on rails scenario for quite a while. So yeah. That's my opinion on that thing. What about everybody else? Ben?
So, I mean, I agree. I completely and utterly love sandboxy things and being able to do whatever we want to do. But I'm also a sucker for a good story. And I've been, as I've said, I've just been playing Red Dead Redemption 1. And coming towards the end of that, I cried. Getting towards the end of that, because I was like, I want to do this. I feel I deserve. I feel my character deserves what he's about to get.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that kind of story beats that you can get in narrative-driven games. And they can be injected into an MMO.
Yeah, it all depends on the level, because I don't want Elite Dangerous to turn into SOTOR.
No.
I mean, as much as I like SOTOR because it is Star Wars, as I like Star Wars, and it does feel like, they've got this. They had these fantastic, intricate storylines planned out across all 8 classes that all interweave, and you end up meeting characters in one storyline, which you end up killing in another storyline, and things like that. But it still felt like, you go here. It felt like Mass Effect, but with extra side missions and other people.
I'm listening. I'm joking. No, don't give me any ideas. Don't let you.
For example,
you won't like you. It's that's probably the wrong example. The only thing it's got really in common with Mass Effect is the dialogue.
Yeah.
But it's got that kind of feel to it. That it's more like a single player RPG.
What about then? What about them with that in mind? With Ben wanting story and Colin and I wanting just full sandbox, fuck it kind of mode. What about suddenly there's another set of INRA bases put out, because what you're getting there is the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
So you're getting the story where you can go out and you can discover those pieces of lore and that kind of thing. You're getting that immense story, incredibly well voice acted and all of that kind of stuff. But you can still go ahead and play the game around it. That has no real impact on your day to day. Whereas with the Thargoids, for example, even if you didn't want to engage, if all of your ships were in Mars High, or in Shinders when that got hit, you
got drugged into it.
Yeah, you were dragged. You're dragged into the you're dragged into the game, into that story. There was no the inconvenience of having to go from one spot to another. It does make you part of that story, make you have to engage in it, even if you don't want to, even if you weren't wanting to. But something like an INRA base or something along those lines, like a bunch of bases that all feel like a new visionette. Is that the sort of language that you're looking for? Like a little story that you could dip into?
I'm thinking even smaller scale than that. I mean, that would be lovely, but I'm also thinking, why can't we have a set of essentially chain missions leading on from A to B to C? And we don't need a bajillion of them. We just need a few of them dotted around the world, but they can be injected periodically, carrying on a slight narrative for you.
Yeah, I mean, I did think about things like that before, and then I remember having a discussion with Michael Brooks about how difficult it is to do these kind of chain missions.
That sounds like their problem.
And he was explaining to me that it's okay to chain 1 or 2, but as soon as you go above 3, then the amount of combinations that you've got to put in is phenomenal.
You kind of have that with engineer unlocks as well, though. You unlock one engineer and that engineer goes, hey, this person fucking love their drugs, go and see that person and they can
don't worry about the bodies,
take a shit ton of drugs over to this person. Hey, I see you happen to have some escape pods. I've got a mate over in Colonia, and I think they try and do that kind of thing. And then what we do is we go and look up a guide on how to unlock engineers and the best way to do it, and we ignore that. So you run into that problem of if you're linking stories.
You're right.
So if you're linking stories and you're linking missions like that, you that sort of like section gets ignored. Not to say that they shouldn't do it. It's not to say that they shouldn't do it at all, because it's kind of a cool thing. You go out 5,000 light years and then you get a message from Halen going, hey, I see you like exploring, come over here. And you go, joke's on you, I don't like exploring. I'm just going out 5,000 because I know you're going to send me a message, that kind of thing. So when we ignore the stuff that's there, it doesn't give it a huge.
Yeah, I mean, there is a lot of people who just follow the guide and go A to B to C and don't even bother reading the quest text.
Yeah, I know you normally get those. However, there is. I was actually going to bring this up, but FNAP in the text in the chat room beat me to it. You still get these things called tip-off missions. I mean, I only got one a couple of days ago, actually. Do you guys still get them?
Yeah, I haven't done one for ages.
You could take Ben's chain mission idea, where they start off with one tip-off mission, which ends up with a chain of about 5. And you could have them as mission packs or something like that. But that could give you the kind of mini narrative, and you don't have to start it with having chained missions and huge mission combinations. That would would be required.
With you have a random chance of bumping into a spaceship, and the spaceship sends you a message saying, "Could you please go here?"
Yeah.
And then you go there and you get the next bit of the story. Yeah, I'm basically thinking a bit like what a certain French website goes and does.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, just imagine if there was a third-party tool that they would allow you to design your own limited mission chains.
Imagine if they had something like that. When was the last time one of you three did a tip-off mission? I know Chris has done one not too long ago.
Years ago now, probably for me.
I did one, I think, about a month ago. Because I think I did it on stream as well. I was curious to see what happened with these, and of course it was one of these ones which took me to. It said at the location on this planet you'll find something for your advantage, and it took me to one of the old Horizons, because they are going to be all old Horizon missions. And it took me to one of the old Horizons type abandoned settlements, and I had to pick some things up, and then some skin was attacked, and then some genuine ships attacked, and it felt great while I was there, but that was it. It was go get attacked, and that was it.
What about you, Chris?
I can't remember the last time I got a tip off. It's been months since I got one.
Really?
Yeah, and I don't know if there's a way they're supposed to trigger, but yeah.
I remember you saying to me that you'd gone and done one, and then it took you to this spot on the planet, and there was just like a monolith there with some engineering materials around it, a bit like Dav's Hope, and that was it.
Yeah, that was probably like last year at some point. Like a long time ago.
One of the reasons I got excited about that is because I was in Shinrata Desra when I got one of these missions, and it was from the Dark Wheel, and I thought,
we can't not at that point.
Yeah.
Because the day that somebody does and ignores one of those and it takes them directly to Raxler, you've got to.
Maybe that's the thing. You've got to get a tip off at a certain point at a certain time.
Random tip off from a rat.
Oh man.
Oh no, I'm not having that.
that is such a trolling thing to do. It would be, wouldn't it?
No, somebody would have already found it.
Actually, I don't know, because I don't know how many people actually do the tip-off missions. I think the majority of people go, "Oh, I don't have the time." It's the same when you pass all the. One of the reasons why Powerplay has been so successful is it forces you to go and have a look or poke into the USSs. And we pass those most of the time. And then all of a sudden, you find out there's actually scenarios in those, like the rescuing ones, where I go rescue someone and they say, "By the way, can you pop over there and scan this ship?" Have you ever seen that one?
No, I haven't.
No. Oh, because that's one of the things that I came across. Again, it's on stream to prove that it's actually happened. But I drop in somewhere and they say, "Yeah, we got a job for you. If you could pop over here, scan this ship, or get this beacon here, and bring it back, then we'll pay you some cash." And you go and do it, and of course you're attacked while that happens, because obviously. And then you go back, but it's so nice because basically you weren't expecting it.
Mm-hmm.
It would be so nice and so funny if the things for Raxler have been there in Shinrata Desra all this time, and everyone's just ignoring the mission.
Oh God, can you imagine?
Apparently, according to Profane Pagan in the chat room, you can trigger tip-offs if you mass pay aid for a minor faction. Just donate millions and you'll trigger one.
Yeah, but I'm like fully Scottish with my billions. I don't spend any money at all. So
yeah. I mean, can you think of any other ways they could put maybe narrative into the sandbox?
I think they could with Galnet, but then I don't know if we're going to get much from Galnet. Like, the one I always go back to is, remember, was that little dude who he nicked a DBX and then just vanished?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just like a 3-liner in Galnet. Yeah. Nothing. You couldn't do anything. I went to like where they were, they started from, to see if there was like any beacons. There was nothing.
No.
Like, that kind of feels like a bit of a missed opportunity to have like a beacon, you scan it, and there's something from them to say they're jumping to this waypoint or, something like that. Like they could do things like that with Galnet, but I think that would be a good way to get some quite light touch narrative in while still keeping it a sandbox for people. But I kind of getting the vibe that there isn't maybe anyone there to do that anymore.
I know. I mean, I've got the same kind of feeling about the rumors section in the Codex, because when we were talking to Darren and company, that was put in for them to do that exact same thing, to drop hints for where people could look to find stuff. Yet it's never been used.
There's quite a few like.
Oh yeah, it was years ago. This.
I love you, Elite. I love you, Frontier, and I love you, Elite. I think I've been on record of saying this. But remember, I've said it a fair amount. But like the rumors section and that, yeah, great, excellent, great. I'm glad that worked out perfectly fine. Remember the calendar.
What now?
And I know.
The community calendar.
Remember the community calendar that Zach was so excited about it.
That they put months into making.
And then they put like lots of time into making, and Zach was so pumped for. And people submitted and then stopped.
Yeah.
And then like people submitted and people kept submitting. And even when people were submitting, it was taking ages for the stuff to go up. And then so people just stopped submitting. And then I think you'll find we took on a lot of stuff and started like sharing cool things that were going on. You're welcome. But like that kind of thing, there's a lot of things that Frontier do with the best intentions that do not come to fruition. Now, whether that's to do with job cuts or like they're not having the resource able to do it, or a switch to a focus to CMS games and things along those lines that don't that are more turn out to be more profitable for the company, which is a really sorry and sad way to look at it, but it is just the way that the gaming industry is at the moment. So it all boils down to them having the resource to do it. My issue with them, if they were, I know I suggested like a thing like the INRA bases and stuff like that. My issue with that I feel like it would need to be unlocked in a new area. So like the Coal 70 sector or something like that. Something that's been permit locked. And then we can go and then have a new play in a new area and see if there's anything that we found. Because I think
because the amount of systems that are still permanent locked are quite a few. I mean, I know that some are permanent locked for narrative reasons. Say Alan's book has.
As I'm literally
has
walking into Lave 2 just now.
Yeah. Obviously, that moon is still locked, and it will probably be locked forever. Unfortunately.
Why though?
Because Alan.
Because Alan wanted it locked for future stories.
I mean, that's not happening, so set it free. Release the Lave 2.
Yeah, well, it's the same thing that I've been asking about trying to restore Lave's agricultural base, because after the Scourge first hit, we managed to get coffee back into Lave, but nothing else.
So you know.
Lave produces just coffee and Lavian brandy, and that's it.
I want the
That's all you need, Colin. Colin, that's all you need, mate.
It's because all the agriculture's in Lave 2, but the people can't travel to it to do the like agriculturing. You know, the bus can't get in, so they're just stuck.
That's where all the Fozzer clones come from. Actually, that's probably pretty close to what Alan's plot was, to be honest. Just going by what was in the first book, I wasn't told anything about the second one. Yeah, so I tell you,
I don't mean to be disrespectful to Alan when I say that in any possible way. Like, it's not happening just up in the minute. It's just, I don't mean to be disrespectful. It's just that time's gone.
Yeah.
Let's go and have a play in it. There might be some cool canyons down there that we can't see.
There's an artificial structure 200 kilometers away from me, and I can't get there.
That
you tried ramming
feels like
harder?
it feels like a you problem, Ben. Just go for it. See what happens.
I am trying to, believe me.
Yeah, you need more thrust for your penetration.
Yeah. Oh my good lord. Well,
That's
I
it,
mean,
phasers to Malky.
Good idea.
Wild.
Oh dear. Yeah. So, as much as we would like narrative in, I think is everybody of the consensus that they like the new sandbox approach they're taking?
I like that Frontier, you allowed the sandbox to bollocks up the CG.
100% absolutely yes, please.
More
More of that, please, lads. If Frontier do something, fuck it up.
I like the merchant gameplay. I don't like how empty Galnet is because it's making the universe
stale.
seem more empty.
Yeah.
It's empty enough as it is because the void, but
True.
the lack of news makes it seem like it's uninhabited.
I mean, as good as Powerplay is, where you've got these figureheads butting, you're vying for control of the galaxy. I do miss the actual Galnet news where they're talking about assassinations in the Empire and political moves in the Federation and how boring everything is in the Alliance.
There's definitely there's definitely two minds to that, because when they talk about stuff that's happening, so if Frontier puts something in Galnet that goes, hey, this guy has been attacked, there's panic, and then you fly into that system and the wedding barges are just absolutely fine and stuff like that, and you get no panic chatter. That all I'm asking is just for a little bit of if Galnet is if they're gonna put stuff like that in Galnet, have it reflect in game as well, which is something that Chris was talking about earlier when he went to go and find the person that had ran in a DBX, and there was no talk about it, and it would have been amazing just to.
Yeah, I remember that because the CMs at the time both said they were denying that someone had found a DBX crash somewhere, and everyone was saying, "Oh, that's it," and they was going, "No, it was just a story. There was nothing actually in game for it." And I was there going, "Then why did you put it in?" And then they used that. It seemed that they used that as an excuse to shut Galnet down because there was nothing for ages. Until the fleet carriers started coming up, and then
wasn't that on part of that open letter? Wasn't that around that time? That nonsense.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the main issue with Galnet is that we have been spoilt because with the build up to the Thargoid War, there's a lot of Galnet stuff, and when the war was happening, there was Galnet stuff happening. But now that it's all over and we know what financial difficulties Frontier went through, it does feel a bit bare. And it's the same for the CGs. The CGs, I know people were complaining about them because it's just the same thing over and over again. But at least there was something for you to do every other week. And then it's gone to once every 3 weeks, and now it's once in a while. So
I miss the interstellar initiatives.
I knew you were going to say that. I was waiting for it.
I love
those
them as
were
well.
amazing.
I love them. Yeah.
Link CGs, where at one point we had a real proper competition, at least for the Golconda, where it was between Federals to say they can stay on their big ship and we'll make them an outpost, and the Empire going, no, they're going to live on a planet and they'll like it.
Yeah.
And it was just a direct race between the two to decide, what help was going to get there. And obviously the Federation won because they still have their big ship, because they just flew away in it, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's these kind of little episodic CGs that I really enjoyed. We had the same thing in the Matrix Online called monthly events, which would be this month-long of plot where you'd go on these missions and then it'd all come back to this massive, huge, big fight at the end. But
was that all self-contained within its little tiny story arc?
Yes, it was. So there was, and the really good thing about that, because of the missions of the big final battle, they used to actually save all that and put that into those training missions, so people could go back and replay
Cool.
it,
I like that idea.
even though it'd been done. So remember the idea that I had where you have this sort of arcade cabinet on the concourse where you could call up
play
old
about
things.
fight. Yeah.
That's the kind of thing. So if you had you could replay these interstellar initiatives, but in the as a historic thing instead of actually affecting the proper galaxy.
And I like the idea of being able to jump into a Fighter Titan .exe in an arcade cabinet someplace. Drops you into a virtual Titan
even
fight.
just go and fly around one or something like that, just as a memory of, because the code is probably still in the game somewhere. You know what I mean? With the art file is still there.
Mind you, at the end of the Interstellar, I remember everybody being really, really happy about the Interstellar initiatives, and then Yamix would come along saying it was an abortion because they didn't change the gun color. And he called them late. Oh, it just wound me up so much.
I mean,
it's almost like the vision didn't want to work with them.
I wonder why.
I wonder why.
We can now see the color of our drapes.
It's a funny one, isn't it? I think if there was still a narrative team that existed, if there was still a narrative team that existed, and I don't believe that there is, but if there was still a team that existed, or just one guy that they could go, hey, we'd like to commission you to give us 2 years worth of little tiny arc things that we can whack into the game, or little these little bubble vignette kind of things that we can whack into the game and have a monthly, this is what's happening now, or even to resolve some ongoing things that they have, let's finish and get everything tied up in nice bows, and then give it the full sandbox effect. Maybe, I don't know.
I don't know. It did feel, when Galnet went quiet last time, it did feel like we were in maintenance mode. I mean, I know that we're getting colonization. I know that this week of Wednesday we've got Zach saying, and we're going to unveil the plans that we've got after, which I'm more excited than colonization about. I'm looking forward to that more than colonization, which sounds weird, I know, because everybody else is excited about colonization, but I'm not. Or not as much, rather.
Yeah, I do think you're right in that it's cool to get a little bit more information about what we have at the moment, but or what we're going to have going forward. Because I don't think, because colonization is going to be out. By the time thingy comes, so we'll know everything about colonization. So hopefully the elite section will be thick with 3 C's, and it's going to be talking specifically about anything else that they've got planned for coming, or the stuff that they've got that they want to bring out. So I
know. Yeah. This is some of the things that we've had with Elite Dangerous since Dot, because we know there's so much they could do with it, and it's all down to whether or not they can afford to do it.
I don't know. I know you said it feels like the game was in maintenance mode, the last time. I don't feel that way at the moment, because I'm getting loads of messages from Kane going, hey, give me hey, you've leveled up again, you've got all of this, or you're getting loads of messages from that. So it doesn't feel as
and that's down to good, a well-designed sandbox approach.
100%, absolutely. So it doesn't feel like it's in maintenance mode in the same way that it did when a bunch of commanders who didn't play Elite anymore signed a letter, and Frontier went, all right, then we'll just shut everything down for 6 months. Not that I'm passionate about that particular era at all. But it doesn't feel like that, but it's kind of like the midpoint between the two.
Yes. I mean, I think it's also disconcerting that we haven't had any comms from Frontier, because last time I know we had that surprise announcement that it's coming on the same day that we're doing our Frontier Unlocked.
Mm-hmm.
But if they hadn't put that, the community would be panicking a lot more right now, because last time they went this quiet, they cancelled any Odyssey updates for consoles.
We'd be quaking in our pink suits with our pink guns.
Have they actually said anything this year? Really?
Like they've done, say the pink sales. Anytime there is a Galnet article or something happens in games. So the stuff with the lockdown and stuff, there were the social posts about that. There's been a fair amount of social posts about Elite Dangerous, but nothing substantial. Like, hey, let's talk about things that are coming, but they're not particularly prolific.
No. And I guess a lot of people I think there's a little disappointment about the fact that the people were expecting a Frontier Unlocked in January and hoping that we'd get an idea of what they got planned for the next year. But when that was cancelled, people went, "Oh,
it was never cancelled. There was never one scheduled."
Yeah.
There was never one actually scheduled. The first one that was scheduled even in the Frontier Unlocked Discord, the first one that was scheduled was the one in February. Now, I'm not going to make an excuse and say, oh, they didn't plan to do it that way. Watching back the Frontier Unlocked from the Christmas one, they were very, very careful during that whole thing to say next year and not even like New Year or anything like that.
Just read the mean January.
And we last year, we had one in January. Mm-hmm. Last year we had one in January, but even when they were talking about when the first one was, Arthur went, I can't remember whether it was January or February or which one it was. So, and I watched this back really recently because we had there was a conversation about it in our Discord about it, and I was just like, we won't have and I don't think you can be pedantic about going, hey, well, they said the new year. If I was like not seeing someone from December until March, I would probably also say, all right, mate, see you in the new year. I wouldn't be like, I mean February by that, don't you? I did, like, the new year is still 2025. I will be seeing them at that point.
I'll see you next December.
Yeah, like I wouldn't necessarily, like, next December might be pushing it a little bit, but first quarter, I think there's a lot of people who are a lot of people who play Elite Dangerous who are very like, but you said exactly this, and if you open up the dictionary means this. I'm just like, mate, you've spent too much time on the internet. Just back away. It's fine.
You'll get Alex started on quality of life and bug fixes and what the difference is.
Hey, you know what? Let's get a quality of life update this year, eh? Let's get like 6 quality of life updates and that's it.
Okay, then we'll draw a line under this for the moment because there's still a couple of things left to touch on. So, Claire, you do have a mostly clueless this week.
I do. I discovered something today, and this might not be this might not help everyone who plays Elite. I'm being such an arsehole. This might not help everybody who plays Elite, but what a thing that I found, we have a holoscreen hacking mission. If you have a holoscreen hacking mission and you go to the system where you have the holoscreen hacking mission and all of the holo screens are already hacked or already showing in favor of your preferred faction, let's say, if those are showing the favor of your preferred faction, all you need is a friend. So I do realise that rules out probably about 50% of the Elite Dangerous base, but all you need is a friend who is pledged to another person. When I wrote that joke, and when I spitballed that joke on stream today, I said, let's run and rule out Ben, and then I felt mean saying it, so I rolled back a little bit. So you just need a friend.
What is worth, Claire?
Yeah.
I'm actually meeting up with some friends in real life in March, so nah.
In March? Was that in the new year? Did you say see you in the new year? So if you have a holoscreen hacking mission, you can bring a friend who has, or for those of you among you who don't have one, would be a you could use an alternative account that is pledged to a different Powerplay. Go and hack those screens with the other Powerplay faction, and then go and hack them back. Like over and over again. There is a cooldown. There is a cooldown of about 30 seconds when you can't hack them, and then you can go back and hack them. For fair warning, it does tank your rep with the faction who are in control of the system. Bless Nicey, who came and did it for me today. Nicey was the star of my stream today because her Powerplay app, fucking phenomenal, and her help in hacking the screens, but she went from neutral to halfway to hostile, and it was 12 hacks.
Yeah,
which is quite a lot.
I don't know if anybody else knows this, but do you know you can change what the station calls you when you approach him? You do.
Yeah.
Does everybody know that? Because I didn't know about that until today.
I know that.
Oh, right.
You do it in the options, don't you? You can get them to call them by your ship name. Is that right?
That's correct. You go into the audio options and you go to the voices, and you go down to the voices, and then you can select one of three. I only found out of this because of I was watching this Rob Farquhar, a genuine name on YouTube. And I didn't know that I thought it was always the ship name, but no, I didn't realize you could change it.
You thought it was always the ship name? I'm always Delacy, Papa Sierra Yankee. And every ship. Not every ship. Obviously, it's not a Delacy. It's not that.
But for those of you who didn't know, you now know.
Wild.
So, question of the week then, Claire.
Question of the week!
Can I ask you a quick question about hacking? Sorry, Claire.
No! Yeah, of course you can.
I did ask, but then they
ignored
me because I've got any friends.
That's a very good point.
Being boring and serious, does it feel exploity? Should it be patched out?
No. Yes, it feels exploity. Should it be patched out? No. What they should do, what Frontier should fucking do, is give you a system that you are able to do it in. That's what they should do. But if I have to find a workaround by getting a friend who is pledged to somebody else to go and hack it so I can hack it back, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, I do think you should be able to do it. Because otherwise, why? Like, give us missions that we can do. Those are your two options. So yeah, it does feel exploity. Of course it feels exploity. Feels mega exploity. It's dumb as fuck just sitting there and like going and hacking them. But yeah. I don't know. Or you want to say like just put some fails. Lots of Powerplay missions exactly like that, please. I don't know. There we go. Question of the week.
Yes.
Question of the week. So, I don't know if I've mentioned, but on Friday, myself, Epaphras, Chris Mark 4, Chris Mark 5, Burr, and Rini are playing Jeopardy on this same channel at 8:30, hosted by the incredibly wonderful question setter Katie Anna, who is going to be taking us through Jeopardy, a space and elite and sci-fi themed Jeopardy. I am looking forward to it so much, but I know nothing about anything. I am a big dum-dum. So what I did was I asked for some space or sci-fi or elite facts from people as part of the question of the week so I could take note and revise. Purely why I did it.
I think your first space fact is from Commander Jarenstead, and that is, it's big. Mind-bogglingly big.
I understood that reference.
You think it's a long way down to the chemist. It's just peanuts to space.
That is the follow-up to that.
I have that burnt in my head. There's nothing I can do. And funnily enough, we've got Frankie Slapbart. Wonder who he's influenced by.
100. Who knows?
I don't know if this is a setup, but I'll bite. That white noise, that static you hear when your radio is detuned, some of that hissing noise is the background radiation of the universe. You are listening to the long, drawn-out bang of the Big Bang.
That's cool. Cool facts. I like it. What is the Big Bang? Just doing it from memory. We have Elvis Kremen, actual genuine Elvis Kremen, who says that his favorite elite tidbit is the entrance to major starports always points to the North Pole of the planet they orbit. I don't think that's true anymore. I thought it used to be, but I don't think it's true anymore.
No, the all major star points used to point at the equator of the planet.
No. They've never been the equator. It was always the North Pole. But I don't know whether that's the case anymore.
I mean, like, sort of. Do we have time? Yeah, not really. I could go to Sol and have a look, but no.
But no, I'm done with this.
I've just landed at Lave again. I want a drink.
Fair enough. Chris?
Yes, I have one from Gaz Ubermick, the most super of all the mix. The infamous Xenomorph in Alien was played by a Nigerian graphic designer by the name of Bolaji Bajejo, who was the only time he ever acted, never wanted to be an actor. He was a fellow designer, so turned down the chance to play the role ever again, and sadly died all too soon, just 39 years old. In the most recent one, in Romulus, the end creature is played by a former high school basketball player who looks a lot like his character, and it's kind of terrifying.
Really? You've added that little end bit is what bit that you've added. I don't watch scary movies. They can go to fuck.
Well, in that case, just do not play Alien Isolation in VR.
Honestly, play Alien Isolation in VR.
No, they've actually done a proper VR version now on the Meta Quest, and no, you would get me.
I definitely couldn't. I've only ever got like halfway through that game. I do want to finish it because I just think it's brilliant.
Good story.
There's that bit in Half-Life Alyx which gives you really alien vibes, and I don't want to go through that again because I'll cry.
Hide in a corner.
Right. Mad Dog is saying, while looking at a new moon, the light that you see from the dark side of the moon is slightly older than the light that you see from the bright side.
Oh.
That makes sense.
Makes sense.
TV.
Yeah. Chris has put a picture for us. That's crazy. That's real crazy.
I have to point out, if for those of you who remember Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, if you remember what happened to Mike TV, that must be Mike TV. Julius, I find it quite astonishing that due to the speed of light, the light of the stars in the night sky could be thousands or even millions of years old, and that some of the stars we're currently seeing in the night sky are already gone.
I love that fact so much.
I mean, yeah, because they think that Betelgeuse, which is one of the stars in the belt of Orion, that's already gone. They think that it's about to go supernova, but technically it probably went supernova 100, maybe 200 years ago, and the light takes 300 years to get here. So for the next 100 years, it's going to be up there, and then there'll be a flash, and it'll be gone.
Oh, God.
That's wild. I genuinely love shit like this. I love it so much. Julius again said, for a sci-fi fact, if the setting has faster than light travel, you could arrive at that location and see the star already gone. This is like on the back of that. If the star is already gone when you arrive at the location, while at the start of the journey it still seems to exist. And then you could turn around, go back the other way, and then turn around and the light is still there because the star is still there. That's so cool.
Yeah, there was something that happened in Space Battleship Yamato, which they did that because when they left Earth, basically when the starship has to go off hundreds of light years in a different direction in order to try and save Earth. So when they leave Earth, it's a bombed out, horrible Mars-like wreck. And then they go 8 light years and then stop for a check. And then they look back at Earth, and the light that they're getting from Earth is when it's still blue and green.
Mm-hmm.
And the crew suddenly realised that's what we want back. Not what we left, that's what we want. It's actually quite a moving moment.
Yeah, I can imagine.
That would be, yeah.
Okay, I've got one from Evil Flash. I play a game with my wife on clear summer's nights where she points to a star. I find out which one it is and then how far away it is, and hence when the light we are seeing was sent on its journey. Use Wiki to look at the ER and talk about all the history that's happened live when that light was born.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I love that. That was a follow-up to what Julius was saying as well. And I just think, like, light travel speed is mind-boggling to me, and it's one of those things that it breaks my brain if I think about it too hard.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Daedalus is saying something that's, I'm going to paraphrase in a sec when we finished, that as a science teacher, I always love how mind-blowing my pupils are when they learn that the elements that make up our bodies were formed in stars. And this ties into one of my favorite TV shows, Babylon 5, where a fairly famous line quote from it is, "We are the stars made manifest. We are star stuff."
Mm.
And
when you said that, Tile72 wrote that in the chat room as well, and I was
We
like,
are star
"It's so
stuff.
beautiful!"
How right we are.
Yeah. And the
I love
ironic
that.
thing is that gold itself can only be formed in supernovas.
And isn't platinum or titanium that's even rarer than gold?
Oh, I'd have to look it up. I
Yeah.
just remember that nice Brian Cox fella explaining about gold, which was amazing.
Well, the guy from D-Ream.
The guy from D-Ream, yes, absolutely.
You know,
He's like you, but more sciencey.
Yeah.
that guy that Darryl O'Brien looks at in such a longing way. Anyway, I have Evil Flash. I remember as a kid understanding that light would go around the world 7.5 times a second, and that it took light from the sun. Well, it takes 8 minutes to get here. All I kept thinking was, if it's that far away, how hot it must be when you're very close to it. Blew my young mind, made me feel very satisfyingly small.
Very cool. That is very, very cool. I love that. I love that very much. We have Lambda, who gave a few bits of tidbits here. Star Trek trivia. Leonard Nimoy based the iconic Vulcan salute off a traditional Jewish religious hand gesture. I didn't know that. I didn't know that at all. Star Wars trivia, not to be confused by Star Trek trivia. There was only one stunt double in the original A New Hope, namely the Tusken Raider who attacks Luke. Everyone else did their own stunts.
Yeah, that means everybody got squished in the trash compactor.
Pretty sure that was a set. In 2001, A Space Odyssey trivia. The Discovery was originally designed with large heat radiators, just like real-life spaceships. However, they were omitted from the shooting model because the studio was worried they would confuse audiences and be mistaken for wings.
Makes sense.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense that there'd be studio interference to get in the way of proper scientific fact.
The studios hate science and facts.
Damn right they do.
Okay, I got one from Chebswell. The Rhine Nebula contains ethanol close to the mass of Earth. Also lots of other long-chain organic molecules in small amounts. The amount of booze stuck in my mind, though. Quickly, send Glasgow.
They'd only finish half of it.
They'd give it a good fucking go, though, wouldn't they?
The entirety of Glasgow wiped out by alcoholic poisoning with "We gave it a go."
I just send the Bucky monks; they'll sort it out.
So, last but not least, we've got Epicris saying Raxler is actually in game, and you can find it in these easy steps. Go to the right-hand side ship panel and select Codex. Go to Knowledge Space, and then on the options, select Raxler. There we go. Easy as that.
Paphos, you troll. You troll. Amazing.
Right. Obviously, we do have any other business, which we've talked about before. Oh, hello.
Hey, Game Blast is the thing. Games Blast is happening. It's the thing. Game Blast this weekend. Hey, do you enjoy quiz shows? Well, do I have a quiz show for you? The quiz show is Jeopardy, and it is happening on Friday night at this channel. Also, I am streaming all weekend, and Paphos is streaming, and Phoenix Defier is streaming, and Katiana is streaming, and Nikki Dangerous is streaming, and Father Bill is streaming, and there are some other names who are streaming, but if you look for hashtag GameBlast25, that is where you will find people who are streaming and raising money for the amazing charity Special Effect. But also, if you like quizzes, Katie has also done a quiz in honor of Game Blast and blasting off for Game Blast for Special Effect and doing Elite Dangerous things that you can enter by finding the link that I have put into the show notes. If you answer all the questions on the quiz, you don't have to do particularly well. Apparently, she's made it a lot harder than Jeopardy, which is good because it's hard. If you answer all the questions on that quiz, you will also be in for a chance to win a Frontier paint pack of a Sidewinder, Crate Mark II, and a decal, all for Special Effect, which is the charity that we are supporting as part of Game Blast 25. Thank you very much for coming to this presentation.
And that is my TED Talk for today.
Have I mentioned that we're doing Game Blast? I just need to make sure.
I don't know. Have you mentioned Game Blast enough?
I don't know. I'm not sure if I can.
Look the point across.
Do you have any plans for this weekend, Claire?
I'm playing. Well, funny you should ask, Ben. I'm not going to go into it. It's fine. I'm aware of the time.
One final space fact from Ben.
Okay. One final space one then. Did you know? You think it's far between the Earth and the Moon, or maybe it's not far. I don't know. But you can get every single planet between the Earth and the Moon. They would all fit there.
That's very cool. I did know that. I think that's awesome.
Because you think Jupiter's fucking massive. There's no way it's going to fit between there and there. I was like, yeah, easy.
Yep. It's 2 light seconds between here and the Moon.
Yeah.
So, that's a lot of space, and people forget that. Chris Mark 5, you've got one final space fact.
Yeah, and it involves cats. So, hang on. Yep, US Air Force wanted to understand your cats can, when they fall, they right themselves, they land, they're okay. Nobody really kind of understood why this was, and they want to see if humans could learn the same thing to see what would happen in zero gravity. So they took the cats in the vomit comet. So when they had gravity, they dropped the cats landed on their feet. They took them up to zero gravity, they dropped the cats. The cats got really confused, and there is video of it. And there is videos of cats floating in, for artificial zero gravity, just kind of biffing the air
I have seen that. I've seen those videos.
Yeah.
Have you seen the birds as well?
I haven't seen the birds. Everyone Google animals in anti-grav because we can't really do it on a podcast. But everyone Google it. I'm sure it's hilarious.
Yeah, that'll give your dog a good laugh. Yeah. Right. Shout outs. Our sister station, Hutton Orbital Radio. It broadcasts on a Thursday at 8:30, and you can tune in at twitch.tv/Hutton Orbital Truckers, or if you just want the audio, go to radio.forthemug.com. For the discerning commander that likes a bit of CQC action, you can check out the CQC Discord at discord.me/Elite Dangerous CQC. We're also giving shout-outs to the following Elite Dangerous podcasts. There's a Guard Frequency, who do other space games and have just discovered the word minge.
Wow.
Wow!
Yeah, they didn't understand what they got, and they were looking it up live on air.
Oh my god.
Oh, wow.
Please tell me they went to Urban Dictionary.
Oh yes, they got shocked. So we also have loose screws for everything you want to know about lasers, but we're afraid to ask. Obviously, no, I'm not going to go there. I was going to go about other kinds of laser treatment, but we'll leave that there. Now, following on from this, we'll have the latest Galnet News Digest as provided by Commander Witherspoon and Commander Beetlejude. And we'll thank everybody who's chipped in on the Twitch chat and all the in-game commanders, which, actually, I'm there.
You are there. I've got lots of screen if you want, Colin.
Also, can I just add that I do let the funky music do the talking, but if you don't want to let the funky music do the talking, you can go check out the Elite Dangerous podcast and their amazing space adventures.
Oh, there's only Ben and Commander Ulrich Octavius left.
Yeah. We have had Commander Joff Frazee there though as well.
Oh yes, I remember Commander Joff Frazee.
I think Rocky Star and William Solo have been around.
Yeah,
it's so weird when we don't have the Chris Mark IV taking a list.
I know. We're not as honest as the Chris Mark IV. That's the problem. Right. So special thanks to Commander Tokuso, Jay and Trax and Alan Stroud, who've all created music for the show. And that's it for another episode of Lave Radio. If you'd like to get in touch with the show, you can find all the contact links in the home/contact us menu of the laveradio.com website. Do let us know if they've got any questions or if there's anything you'd like us to discuss in a future episode. Lave Radio is recorded live on a Tuesday evening at 8:30 and streamed out on laveradio.com/live. So, thanks to Claire.
Powerplay is the Sex Panther of Elite Dangerous.
Thanks to the Chris Mark V.
You're welcome.
Thanks to Ben.
You don't want to laser that minge, do you, Colin?
Oh,
here we go.
You know, I specifically avoided making that joke, and you had to go there, Ben.
I'm doing it for Tal.
Right. And special thanks, of course, goes to today's tech specialist, the Apathicris. It's him.
My pleasure.
So until next time, Commanders, fly safe. And if you can't do that, fly dangerous.
Is your life like this? Sounds like someone having an orange inserted. Need a safe word.
Space can be done.
I'm gonna see the galaxy.
Ah, damn it. No worries, guys. Hold the fort for 2 seconds. I'll be right back.
Galnet News Update, 18th of February, 3311. The first 2 weeks of February have gone by without a single Galnet article being published. What in the galaxy is going on? We must assume that the Pilots Federation is in conclave, planning the allegedly imminent start of colonisation. If you ask their public relations people, they suggest you might like to buy a pink skin for your weapon, so to speak, and tell you that there are exciting things going on in the world of roller coasters. If you press them further, they direct you to their outsourced engagement team, just about enough, who ask you to share your outfitting tips for the Cobra Mark V and tell your tales of daring do from the recently won Second Thargoid War. If that hasn't sent you running away screaming, they also ask you to create an Airbnb listing for your chosen planet. They haven't had any takers for that one, but there's a massive 50 spacebooks up for grabs for the best entry. So perhaps it might be worth swallowing your pride and giving it a go. Meanwhile, with lockdown over, there has been a sudden flurry of activity over at Brewer Corporation's megaship, the Trailblazer Echo, in HIT 90578. From 10 a.m. on Thursday the 11th of February all the way through to 2 p.m. on 17th, the initiative was at a standstill, and there must have been a lot of explorers twiddling their thumbs waiting, because within 8 hours of Brewer unshuttering Universal Cartographics, the initiative leapt from 66% complete to more than 80%. It closed a few minutes ago at 90% complete. Everyone who took part will get a pre-engineered detailed surface scanner, which would have been handy over the last couple of weeks, and at least 30 million credits bonus. And now we presumably all have to wait patiently for another week to see whether the colonisation initiative starts on Wednesday the 26th, as promised, and if Galnet has entered a second dark age. While you wait, why not buy something pink and write a report on the shifting galactic tides, whatever they are.